Have you ever stopped to think about what actually happens when you click Buy Now online? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the invisible engine that powers pretty much our entire digital world, the database. Seriously, think about it for a sec. You click one button. That single action kicks off this massive chain reaction of data. So, where does it all go? How does a company store it, manage it, and most importantly, use it to make decisions? Answering that question is really the key to understanding the whole world of data analytics. So let's start by following the data's journey inside just one company. All right, let's zoom in on a typical corporation. These days, a business is only as smart as the data that's flowing through it. So let's take a look at the data map they use to navigate all that critical information.
First up, we've got CRM, which stands for Customer Relationship Management. The easiest way to think about this is as the company's customer memory. The whole goal here is to use all that juicy data, what you bought, what you like, what you've complained about, to do smart things, like figure out who might be about to switch to a competitor or send you the perfect marketing offer right when you need it. This is where really powerful stuff like customer lifetime value, or LTV analysis, happens.
Okay, next is SCM, or supply chain management. So if CRM is the customer memory, you can think of SCM as the company's logistics nervous system. This system keeps an eye on a product's entire journey, all the way from the factory floor to your front door. And the name of the game here is efficiency, using data to predict demand so you don't make too much or too little, and just making sure everything gets where it needs to go smoothly. So we've got customer data in one system and all the product and logistics data in another. But what happens when you start connecting them? What if you could link a customer's feedback directly to the people designing the product, or give the sales team real-time access to financial data all in one spot? Well, that brings us to ERP, Enterprise Resource Planning. This is the big kahuna. This is the company's central data hub. An ERP system is designed to integrate everything: HR, accounting, manufacturing, sales, the whole shebang. Its main job is to create a single source of truth so that everyone in every department is working from the exact same playbook. And hey, for any of you aspiring data professionals out there, this is a big one. When you hear those key terms, data consistency, integrity, sharing, your brain should immediately think ERP. It is the textbook example of why having reliable, integrated data is absolutely essential for any modern business. But of course, it doesn't stop there. Companies have a whole arsenal of specialized systems. For example, BI, or business intelligence tools. That's the software that builds all those fancy dashboards that managers are always looking at. And you've probably heard of RFID, right? Those little tracking tags that let a company point pin one specific box in a warehouse the size of a football field. The data ecosystem just keeps getting deeper. Okay, so let's zoom out again, way out. Because these same ideas about organizing data don't just stay inside a company's walls. They scale up to power our entire society. They're like the invisible infrastructure that literally moves the world. Take EDI, or Electronic Data Interchange. It sounds super technical, but it's basically a universal translator that lets companies all over the globe exchange trade documents seamlessly. It's what makes global commerce tick. And then there's GIS, Geographic Information Systems. Oh man, this one is huge. It's the tech behind everything from your phone's map app to incredibly complex analysis of city traffic patterns. And this is where the real magic of GIS happens for analysts. It's not just about drawing a map. It's about layering different types of data on top of that map. When you combine location data with other data, like sales figures or demographics or anything else, that's when you suddenly uncover these powerful, hidden patterns about how the world actually works. So, we've looked at systems inside companies and systems that span the entire globe. We've thrown a whole bunch of acronyms at you: CRM, SCM, ERP, GIS. But what's the one thing they all have in common? What's the real, true starting point for all of this? It all comes down to this. This quote says everything. You can have the most brilliant AI model on the planet, but its entire journey, all of its potential, begins and ends with the database it's built on. So let's just break down exactly why they're so critical. First, as you see here, they're the source of all data. You know the old saying, garbage in, garbage out? Well, it's true. The quality of your database puts a hard ceiling on the quality of your analysis. Second, they are the core of governance, making sure data is standardized and trustworthy. And finally, that all leads to the big payoff. Databases are the foundation of business strategy. You just can't make smart decisions without them.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. It's such a simple idea, but it's incredibly profound. Great analysis is always built on a great database. Period. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, right? Same idea. All right, let's do a super quick recap with a little cheat sheet. CRM is all about understanding your customers. SCM is about making your supply chain efficient. ERP is the glue that holds the whole enterprise together. And GIS is your go-to for any kind of spatial analysis. Each one is a specialized tool designed for a specific job.
And here's the real thought I want you to leave with. The goal isn't to just memorize a bunch of acronyms. It's to start thinking like an analyst. Whatever system you run into, just ask yourself two simple questions. 1, what data does this thing hold? And 2, what kind of cool insights can I get from it? Connecting those two dots, well, that's the whole game right there.
And that brings everything right back to you. Whether you're analyzing global economic trends or just your own personal budget in a spreadsheet, it all starts somewhere. So the final question is this: what database does your analysis begin on? And are you building on a solid foundation?